Samson. And a melee is broken out here. A melee is broken out. The benches have emptied. They have brought police onto the floor. And they're still going at it, and there is blood.
Now, why would a 7'4" Ralph Sampson attack a 6'1" Jerry Seasting? Because Larry Bird and the Boston Celtics were having the best season in NBA history. And in the closeout Game 5 of the 1986 NBA Finals, Ralph Sampson and the Houston Rockets were not going down without a fight. Literally.
Let's go back to the incident in Houston. They were up. It was a closeout game. I said, if you're going to win this thing, in my mind, you're going to win it on your spot. You're not going to win it on home court, because that's just my mentality going in. So the first quarter, I had like 15 points, 8 rebounds, and I was, rolling a little bit.
Little strong move by Ralph Sampson. Puts it in front of Parrish and angles into the hoop.
And I set a pick down, and Danny Ainge come out, running around the pick. He hit me in the nuts.
Houston cuts it to 2. Boston moves ahead, and now Danny Ainge called for a block as he tried to get through Samson to get to Reed.
Danny Ainge says, when somebody's going to pick me off, I'm running into them hard. Maybe the next time they won't be standing there.
I set a pick down, come back around. Jerry Seasting did the same thing. And God bless his soul, DJ, favorite guy, with the play. I mean, they run around. They were just some, guys that would do that to irritate me, because I was, then I had Bill Walton guard me. I was like, come on, Bill, you can't guard me. Just sit your ass down.
Sampson over Walton. Not much big redhead could do with that. Sampson in a double, finds a way out, and slams it through for his 12th point of the ball game.
So that kept happening, and I was so hyped up. And it happened down the court, and then one time it happened, I just got frustrated, and then we went to blows.
And now Seasting and Samson, and now Dennis Johnson, and a melee is broken out here. A melee is broken out, the benches have emptied, and they have brought police onto the floor. At the bottom of the pile is Walton and Samson right now. It all started with Samson and Jerry Seasting, and they're still going at it, and there is blood. A small cut around the left eye of Dennis Johnson.
Ralph, what happened?
I set a pick down on Seasting early in the game, and talking about getting somebody back. I came down, Walton grabbed me, and Seasting hit me, and I swung and hit him, and everybody collapsed on everybody else. That's all I got to say about this bullshit call. We should win the game, and see what they want to play. We can play like it all night.
Well, Ralph Sampson was right, because the Rockets did end up winning Game 5, but only to set the stage for Larry Bird's greatest revenge.
You can't be doing that. I mean, I thought it was distasteful for both sides. I think that you just got to play the game. It was a game that we wanted to win. We wanted to get the series over with, because anything can happen if you stay out there long enough. You get guys injured. We were better than that. We should have, I don't know about sweeping them, but we should never have lost Game 5.
We had got pushed around in Game 5. And then we had practice the next day on Saturday. Everybody was really quiet.
We need rebounds. We're going to get rebounds. We need this. We're going to get that. We're going to be fine. Larry Bird assured the world, we're going to be fine.
Because Game 6 was at the Boston Garden, the most ruthless stadium in all of sports. And Larry Bird said, Sampson and the rest of the Rockets better put on their hard hats, because our fans can get nasty too. There will be a lot of contact in Boston.
And I was in Boston when you're facing the Celtics with the whole Jerry Seasting thing with the fight. And I mean, that crowd was, the Garden was pretty tough on you, Ralph.
It was tough, because the hallways that don't come to Boston, we're going to kill you, we're going to do this, whatever.
You got death threats?
You got a few threats, but we played anyway, so it was all right.
I was at that game. I was in the tunnel. I think everybody was there like 45 minutes before that game. People were just ready. Yeah. And when Samson walked out, he walked by us. You could just see he was done. Yeah. He was petrified. And he should have been. He was like, really seemed like he was going to get killed.
He's picking on Jerry Seasting. Come on.
And so we get into the game, and Larry's out doing his pregame warm-up, and we're all in the locker room stretching and working it out.
We were in the locker room, and, you could hear fans out there, but in '86 at Game 6, that locker room sounded like they was in the locker room.
And the crowd is absolutely going berserk about an hour before the game.
And then Larry comes into the locker room, and he looks at us all, gathered all our attention. He says, guys, I was just out there in the crowd. It's an hour and a half before game time, and the crowd is already in, and they're ready. And right now, they want the blood of the Houston Rockets.
Hey, I'm telling you, them fans want blood out there. and they don't care whose it is. We lose, it's our blood.
That if we don't deliver today, they're going to want our blood. Now let's get going. Who's coming with me?
I don't think anybody could have beat us that.
I was playing so poorly that Larry Bird would go to Casey Jones during the dead ball situation and says, Casey, you can either take Walton out or you're going to take me out. It's your choice.
That's true.
And Casey Jones always made the right decision.
But have you ever been listening to your favorite YouTube channel that you wanted to support by listening to an entire ad and all of a sudden your earbuds just fall out? Or you tried to lay down with your earbuds in and they just became super uncomfortable? Well, these everyday earbuds by Raycon are the most comfortable ones I've ever tried on. No more earaches, no more earbuds falling out. And with active noise cancellation capable of drowning out the most maddening of sounds, Raycon's everyday earbuds are your quieting sidekick for the gym, work, or phone calls, offering premium audio that goes where you go. And with Raycon's quick charge function, just 10 minutes of charging yields 90 minutes of battery. Personally, I have had and lost many different earbuds over the years, but these are my go-to earbuds every day when I'm listening to the greatest Larry Bird stories ever told. So go to buyraycon.com/PLB to get 20% off the best-selling everyday earbuds. Brought to you by Raycon.
And there was this one elderly woman who was maybe 5 feet tall and maybe weighed 80 pounds. And she had a front row courtside seat. And she brought a sign that was bigger than she was. And she said, "Hey, Ralph." And she's referring to the big fight with Jerry Seasting, who was a little tiny guy himself. And she goes, "Hey, Ralph, I'm 5 feet tall."
All of a sudden, there was all this hate letters and calls and whatever it may be. So we get in the game, and you know how the Garden was. It just hyped up, and you're ready to play. There was a mannequin or stuffed animal or stuffed human figure, right, with socks and jerseys and 50, and it had an afro wig on it, whatever, and then it had number 50 on it, had Samson back, and they had a noose hanging up over the rail of the Boston Garden. Like, they were going to hang me when I got there. But, you know, it was something you look at, and now you look at it again and see the magnitude of it. It's kind of crazy, right, that you have to go in an arena and play, and they allow that to happen in the arena. I don't think they would do that today. If somebody did today, probably security would take them out. But, you know, it's nature of the beast in Boston. You understand their passion, though, for their team. But then you do something against their team, then some people may do that.
And that's one thing about fans. I mean, Boston fans, I never seen the opposing fans going to get on anyone like I seen them get on Ralph Sampson. They might as well just took him home, because I think he ended up with 2 points and 2 rebounds. And I think the game before they had like 24 and 22. Yeah. I mean, they took him completely out of the game. I mean, I know people used to go down after work, get something to eat, and go to the game. Not once a week. Every time we played, for every game I was there. So you felt indebted to him to at least go out there and try to do something special that night and win a basketball game.
Roddy McRae would have to guard him, and you know we would try to beat Larry to the gym. When we go to Boston, played in the Garden, you know, you go up to the service elevator, it had rats and roaches and all that kind of stuff. You go up and you go in the locker room, it's hot. You know, they did all their tricks, but Larry would always come to the game, you know, a couple hours early to get his shots up. So we'd try to beat him. Roddy and Robert Reed would try to get to the gym and beat him. They never could, because he was in the gym a couple hours before the game started.
Wow.
And working on his game, working his shots, getting his mindset right. So I think mentally tough, and you know, he wasn't a great athlete, but I think he was mentally tough to know with his skill set what he could do, what he couldn't do, and he used it to the best of his ability. Became, you know, a Hall of Famer and one of the best players to ever play the game.
Being in the arena for that game and the way he played and how he was just everywhere on the court, like a free safety, just a freaking maniac for 3.5 quarters. And you look at the numbers and it's like 29, 10, and 12, something like that. But it wasn't like he didn't shoot lights out. His PER wasn't the best of any Bird performance, but like I've never seen anybody have an imprint on that game scoring less than 30 points.
You dribble out to the three-point line, and then without even looking, he would just throw it back up there and then run down the court with his arms in the air and his finger pointed up and say, "We're number one." And the Celtic crowd just saying, "Here we go, Celtics. Here we go." It was absolutely fantastic. Larry Bird, the greatest player I ever played with by far.
The Celtics dominated that game, and Larry Bird was rightfully crowned Finals MVP. Larry Bird said, "That was the only game that I thought I was totally prepared for. As far as the focus was concerned, none better, never. I should have quit right there." Olajuwon called Larry Bird the best all-around player that I've ever seen.
We won the championship. We played unbelievable. The team was so in sync. But it's how we won. It's the ball movement. It's, you know, you go back and look at that. There were 7 passes. The ball didn't touch the ground. I went like, I just don't know how I can get better than this.
You know, everybody's always asked my best game, but I would take that night in and night out, yes.
Did you ever talk to Jerry Seasting about that?
It's funny. I was coaching in Phoenix a couple years ago, and we never really talked about that incident, but I was a play development coach, and Seasting was one of the new coaches coming in. So they said, y'all got any animosity between each other? I said, that's 30 years ago, so whatever. But if he throws another elbow, I will take him out. I will take him out. So.